Hi everyone. Digger up. Was it? G'day. Mark Foster, hello. I'm going to ignore your comment. JB, g'day. Richard, hello. Stephen, hello. Richard, there's 3 Richards in a row. Richard Mayer, hello. Fridge, g'day. Thomas Kearns, g'day. Or is it Kearns? I imagine it's Kearns. All you guys who put me in a spot trying to pronounce your names. I think it's Kearns. Peter Donald, g'day. Mark Osborne, hello. David Sykes, hello. Matty, g'day. Congrats, Matty, on another win today. Stuart Hingston, too, I believe. Alistair, g'day. Craig, hello. You got any sound? Can you hear me? Mancave, g'day. Nigel, hello. Paddy, hello. The Necklace Workshop, g'day. Gosh, mixed bunch, like always. And Tommy Gun Machining, g'day. What's happening? Not very much. Been at work. Mail come today, not enough of it, and mostly too late. But hopefully there's some cool stuff. Who's put out new videos? A new one from Chirpy, which I haven't watched yet, and I apologise for that. There was a new one from R. Stephen Lane, which I have watched, was really good. Nothing from Alistair. There was one from Craig this week. Who else have I missed? I think there may have been one from JB. I'm not sure about that. Yes, there was one from JB. Saw that. Morris. I can call you Morris. No problems at all. We can call anyone Morris. Always reminds me of a movie by that name, starring Hugh Grant. Probably you don't want to look that up. There's a JB one I've got to watch. Yeah, Ron Williamson, g'day. Oh, Maurice, of course. Sorry, Paddy. I forgot. Yeah, you're Flemish. Probably the movie was called Maurice too, but I don't think so. I think it was Morris. Anyway, don't look the movie up. What's happening? I've been working all weekend on this pump, right? Water pump for the Stewart engine, because we're still waiting for a diaphragm for the demand valve. Some bits come. Hey Ian, good day. Block of aluminium to make it out of, which I never had. And they also used some of this for the base of the pump, I think. And I got a Tecumseh needle valve set, also for the limit valve, because it's American and it uses odd bits that are in American engines, I guess. So one of them, and there's still a diaphragm coming. So when that's all here, I'll make that and we might get it running. To answer the big question that's in the room, it's like the elephant. Anyway, that's one job. Right? Look at this. Check this out. This pump's looking pretty good. It's fabricated, and you can spot the mistakes. But it's... Probably could have done this before. Oops, sorry about the bump. So it's got the right cavity and everything in there. I think I ported all that today at work. There's pretty much zero clearance here at the top and the back side of it where the impeller hits. I hope I've got this right. And there's quite a bit of clearance down here. This hole here was a problem because this is supposed to have 10 holes around it. And in theory that would work if this hole was small enough, but I drilled this hole out quite big to put a fitting in it. And these touched, so what I've actually done is silver soldered a plug in there and then tapped that and ported that down as far as I can. So I think it's all pretty good. These are all fabricated up. I did manage to get this on the wrong side of the piece of bronze and couldn't be bothered making another one, so I've actually plated that, and it's going to have a bit of JB weld in it and some nice blue paint on it anyway. That's the lid. Which all lines up. And that's the back standard for it, which hopefully all lines up as well. It goes on a base that looks something like this. It's not actually going to look quite like this. And it's got a pulley in between and a shaft and an impeller, which looks something like this. In bronze, I guess. Or stainless steel, probably bronze. That was a good fit in there, so I don't think it'll be that tight, that close, but that's how that looks. It's got a bit of clearance, and this should fit on there like that, and it should suck water through there, I hope, and push it up the pipe. Maybe. If it doesn't, we'll have another think about it. But that was a weekend's work. This is the P12 pump from OB Bolton in Sydney, or wherever they are now. I don't think they're actually Sydney, but this was their original drawings from the 20s and 30s, and I've scaled this down 3/4 size because as drawn it would have been like this. It's a bit big for this engine. It'd make a nice pump for a steam engine though, really nice. Anyway, if you want it was probably my tummy fridge. I haven't actually had dinner yet. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, no idea. That's gone. But yeah, oh yeah, if you want to look at how I made this, I did put a fairly in-depth video, and it got a bit long. There's a 40-minute video over on Patreon. I'm building this little fabrication, which is kind of really nice, I think, from here. And there'll be another video which might not be quite as long. I'm building all the other bits and getting it up and running. So we'll try and get this out in 2 videos and get it mounted on the engine. Anyway, it's looking all right. So there we go. I'll put the video up on YouTube eventually. These two for the pump I might do a bit quicker than the others actually. We might put them up reasonably soon. We'll see how we go about that. But that's coming together nice, and that's going to be a really nice little model on its own without putting it on the engine. And I hope it works. Now, Man Cave sent a parcel, right? Road transport only, so you've got to wait for it. It's been a few days. Don't know, it might have been 10 days or I don't know how long it's been. It came from Melbourne. Sorry about that. And I haven't, to be honest, haven't opened it. I know Craig got his, because I saw his video. Sorry about the vicious knife. That's a bolt action Gerber, by the way. It's about 15 years old. I've had it a long time. It's probably full of dirt because it used to flick. Good knife, indestructible, lifetime guarantee. I know it's been run over by a bulldozer, but it didn't seem to worry it too much, except this little plug popped out. It was the same as this on this side, and that popped out, and we got a different one on it when we sent it back to the factory. So apart from that, it's had a hard life. Anyway, that's beside the point. Don't know what's in here. Nothing except this bottle. New product from Man Cave. So I'm going to give him a shout out because not a paid promotion really. He did look after me because I'm a guinea pig. But I'll try not to cut this bottle. I'm still working on him for paid promotions. No, he looks after me and he'll look after anyone who buys off him, I think. There we go. Way Oil 68, Man Cave Metals. New product. Haven't looked at it. Slide away oil. Keep out of reach of children. Avoid contact with skin. Poisons hotline. Okay. I think the bulldozer was probably it was probably a Pilot Start D9 and belonged to a good friend of mine back in the day. So it wasn't a small bulldozer. Probably never had a cab on it, and may have by that stage had a roll bar on it, I think. And yeah, it was a scraper pusher in Tasmania. And the ground was probably soft, so I might have been on gravel, I think, anyway. No leaks anyway. This come fine with no leaks. Not even a little bit. It's dry as. I believe he bottles this himself. Not sure. I'm not sure he makes it himself, but he buys it in bulk and it's a good price. At full retail even, it's a pretty good price. And right onto that, as soon as he said he had it, I was like, yeah, we need some of that. So I've got some of that. I've still got to find another oil can for it. There's no like may cause cancer in the state of California, so we're pretty safe. It's probably really nice hair oil. It's in a good bottle. It survived the trip to Queensland, no worries at all. Nothing inside the bag. I can take my lunch to the work in that bag with no problems at all. And that's pretty cool. So hit Man Cave up. I guess it's on his website. Has Man Cave got a website that works? I believe so. If he wants to put the link down there, well, maybe we could all bookmark it. I had the link too, and I'm not going to look it up. Anyway, I open a lot of boxes, right? That's the only reason I've got a decent pocket knife. My colleague sharpened this, and it is actually sharp for the first time in about 10 years. But this carbon steel, whatever it is really hard and pretty hard to keep an edge on. It's got a bit of a burr, I reckon you can see that. Which is probably why it cuts. But there we go. Just don't leave the spaces. No one can click on that. Oil's not up. Most of his metal stock is. There you go. So watch this space on the whey oil. I believe he has it in stock. If you hit him up, he'd probably sell you some anyway. But good handy size, and got here with no leaks. And all you need is oil can, which will be next. But interested to start using that because I was out of hydraulic oil. And my bottle of hydraulic oil, I think it's nearly empty. So what else? What else? That's it. Pretty well covered it. Got 17 minutes and everything's done. How cool is that? I want a matching oil can. I've already got oil cans, and I want another. I want another Eagle 58. I'll have to get looking for one. I haven't even thought about it. Trouble is, they're probably got to come from America, and American parcel freight's bad. The American freight's bad. I've been waiting for a parcel from Michigan since it was posted on the 20th of last month, and it's now the 30th of this month. So what's that? It's 5, 6 weeks, something like that. And it still hasn't hit Australia, so I'm reluctant to buy an oil can from America at this point. So these are awesome because they don't tip over and they've got a big opening to fill them up, and they don't seem to leak. So I like them. I need another one, and I'll colour code it for whale. Rylangs are pretty good. EJ Winter in Sydney, or in Burke, or wherever they are, Newcastle, or I'm not sure. They sell Ryling. Ryling. Apart from that, progress on the engine is nothing. Ordered these parts, got some sort of a way forward on that. Yeah, look, here's a tip, right? This is the best marking out liquid bottle. You can buy these out of China for about $1 each, right? Fantastic. Pretty well bomb proof. It's designed to go in someone's handbag. It's even got a brush. Look at that. And it's glass, so you can see how much is in it. and it's really thick glass, so if you drop it off the bench, it's not going to smash everywhere. Big fan of that. It's an nail varnish bottle. Yep. You can buy empties. That's the answer, and that much lasts you about. I've got a litre bottle, and seriously, there's a lifetime supply there if you don't spill it. And that's the trouble with the litre bottle, is you are going to spill it, whereas this is quite good. That's my answer. What else? 3D printer. I've got a nozzle clog, I think. Honeymoon period's over with 3D printers. I'm over 3D printers. They're not much fun. Had enough now. Actually, no, I started on this pump, and once I got motivated on that, I didn't really get back to the printer. But I think it's pretty easily fixed, probably. And I've got all the bits there to do it, and I've just got to get in and sort it out. It has worked pretty hard. So, gosh, there's a lot of questions there. D-bit grinder. I made a D-bit grinder video. I made a tool to cut this. I call it an undercut or a recess or a cavity in here, which is offset actually. So I needed an internal grooving tool for that. So over here. So I made up a internal grooving tool for that, which is pretty simple. I had a bit of split carbide. It only took about 15 minutes. That is awesome. And I had every intention of making a video. In fact, I shot about 25 minutes of video footage to do it. And I had a power cut about exactly the minute that it was downloading across the wire from the SD card to the computer, and the file seems to be corrupted at both ends, so I'm fairly unhappy about that. So you didn't get the second time around, you didn't get a tool like a tool grinding video. But how'd I neck it down? Side of the diamond wheel. Not particularly difficult. It took about 5 minutes, something like that. Not a huge deal, and I'll probably use this for something else at some point. Probably I'll grind it for a proper internal threading tool or something. Um, 3D printer worth of money? Yeah, it's really pretty good actually. It just needs some maintenance and sit down and clean it out and run it through its process again. Get it going. That's not a big deal really. I'm only really teasing when I say I'm over it. Progress on the loco? No, not this week. Been making a water pump. Don't get it power cuts very often, but flatmate was actually using his electric chainsaw and may or may not have cut the cord and shorted something out, I think was what happened. So don't ask, we don't get told about those sort of things, but reading between the lines and looking at the chainsaw sitting up there on the stump with the cord sort of a bit frayed, I think that's what may have happened. So this happens, yes. Rig oil cans are great, except for a few things. They've only got a tiny little hole in the lid, right? So you need a funnel to fill them up, and they get oil all down the sides of them, and they seem to leak. If you knock them off the bench, they break the spouts off. That's the other problem with them. So That's why I don't like riggers. There you go. Not selling out. It's just they could be better. There's a smaller relief. I used the back of the wheel and I might have gone a little bit deep. That's where we're at with that. So, machine grinding this side of that. You can't see that. Sorry. Let's find something we can see it. Yeah, that's better probably. Probably. Grinding this side of it's a bit of a challenge because you can't swing the head round this far enough without it touching the wheel. So I actually used the inside of the cup wheel to do that and set it like that, and that's why it might have got a bit deep there, but it doesn't matter much. There you go. I have suspicions about it. I've seen the evidence. Unscrewing the lid, JB says. Have you ever considered unscrewing the lid? Yeah, I don't know. I think that would probably fix him, but I'd have to find another flatmate. Is that what that was in relation to? This oil can. Yeah, this oil can's these are Eagles. And they're great because you just open them like this and you can fill them up with a bottle. Riegers have only got a little hole in the top though, with either a plastic plate or a brass lid, and they're a bit of a pain, and the top goes missing and falls out and it leaks, and when you tip them over they drip oil everywhere, and usually when they land on the floor the spout breaks off there, it's soldered on. There you go. My views on oil cans. I might be completely misguided on that. You can let your experiences guide you there. Don't expect me to have the last word on that. I've got dividing head issues, and I don't know what to do about that. There you go. There's a project I really need to do. Got a little dividing. Rotary table issues. This was actually over on the drill press, heaven forbid, because I don't have a vertical mill head. And I don't have any way of setting this up that way around on the front of the mill table. So hey, if someone comes up with a nice oil can, hey Darren, with a nice oil can design that you can make in the lathe in the home shop with some sheet metal and some sheet metal instruction in a video, I'd be happy to build one. But that's towering behind the 3 tool making projects from the TMC 2020, which I haven't even started yet. So there you go. Next year for TMC, if that actually happens, make yourself an oil can. Congrats on the Sherlines. You're a good little machine. So anyway, this has got a bit of stuff here with 2 holes in it. And there's sort of an angle plate that comes with this from Sherline, which sort of works, but it's a bit light and it's probably cast aluminium or aluminium extrusion. And that bolts on here. And I think comes back underneath here with sort of a brace at the back. That probably works okay. What I had in mind was to put a block on here with 3 pins for a sign bar, or at least 2 pins for a sign bar, so that I can set it up on an angle on top of the vise and work radially like that. But if I put it on the front of the vise with this 3-jaw chuck on it, the table's only 100 millimeters wide, so with a 60 millimeter vise, the front of the table's there, and then this is all off the end, and that gives you travel. By the time you get a ER25 collet chuck to hold a drill or something, you've got no room for the work and no room for the drill. So ideally, I would like something to bolt on here and probably bolt on the front of the table where there's a dovetail, I think, down there, and a couple of bolts on the side. So just probably an angle plate with a T on it, or an angle plate with an offshoot on it, so that we can bolt it on the table and bolt it on the front on the dovetail. I think it'd be a really nice option. Still thinking about that. Hey Stephen, room for one more. Good to see ya. We won't ask about posting stones, promise. Anyway, good to see you, Stefan. Really, there was a video, I think, recently, wasn't there? Did Stefan put out a video? I think I saw one last week. Did I? I would have gone and watched it. Yes, I think he did. Go and check it out anyway. I'm sure it sunk in. Job I need to do with the rotary table was drill and tap this pump and drill and tap the lid. There you go. It's already been done, and I think it's a pretty good job. I'm fairly impressed with that. But I did just do them. The PCD wasn't particularly critical, and they just needed 10 holes, so I just bolted this on the drill press and did that. That was easy and good. Countersinks, that's what it was. It was really good. Hey, that was just showing off, actually, is what it was, because everyone knows that those countersinks aren't sharpenable. Yeah, I was impressed. I'm going to put that. I was impressed. You need to watch the countersink video, absolutely. Don't try this at home, but you need to watch the video. So that's where I'm at with that. I need to sort that out at some point. Right? I've got other projects that I've started that I really need to sort out. Right. I sort of hinted on next projects after this engine build, if it ever runs. It may not run. It might be the last project I ever build because I spend the rest of my life getting it running. Be aware that that is a possibility. So anything I say about new project ideas is totally theoretical. The one we looked at last week was a little dynamo. It's a bit technical for my brain too, Matt. I hear what you're saying there. It's getting a bit theoretical, but really sort of enjoyed it anyway. Um, who else has these things sitting all over their workshop? Pain in that. I mean, by the time they've been used, you can't even use them as a coffee filter. There's not much use for them, but they're everywhere. That one's a week old. But tool grinding's pretty interesting, and I always enjoy tool grinding content. Please keep them coming, Stefan. We really, really appreciate the time you take to make them, because no one else is really, and we really enjoy it. So there you are. That's enough crawling. Oh, you live in Melbourne. I at least live in Queensland. I've got a new box of them in my bag. I had to clean out, and I got rid of about 4 or 5 from last week. Anyway, this is another project that might be on the Patreon list, right? If we get sick of models. And I'm going to do a bit of a trailer on all of them, and we'll see. We're going to vote on it. But this is a set of castings and patterns I made 2 years ago, and probably should have got finished, but it never happened because I really needed, when I got into it, I really needed a thread cutting attachment, which we sort of have, and some other capabilities which I also have, like milling machine and stuff, which I didn't have when I started this. So this is a this is hashtag Renzetti's fault if you want to go and check it out on Instagram. But I've got the castings, right? This is the back plate, which is about 10 times heavier than it needs to be, but I think it would machine out and be very nice. Which threads on the spindle. And this is the cam plate, which goes on the back of the spindle, and is adjustable backwards and forwards like that. This would be the brushes, which go on this cam plate and move up and down as it rotates. And this is the other half of the dovetail, which goes in there and should slide backwards and forwards with the spindle thread on there. So hopefully it's something that it's only going to be that long on the front of the chuck or in the front of the headstock, and it should give you potential to turn some sort of an ellipse. So that's another project that we could get in and finish. Now we've got bits and pieces to machines to actually make it. So that's on the list anyway. And Tom can't talk, Stefan, because I seem to remember that he had a printing press that he started once that promised all sorts of things and never ever got finished. So I'm not the only one with projects that never get finished. And if we go in there, yeah, I reckon I could go through this list and find something that everyone hasn't got finished, which is awesome. Uncle Bob's Bees, good day. Anyway, that's another project that might be pretty good fun. I've got a reasonable set of castings, I believe. I've got no idea how hard or what these are going to be like, but they've been sitting 2 years, so they're pretty normalised, I would say. And I think they would machine up pretty nice. So you've been promising to finish that, Stephen. Stefan's got a steam engine kit he started not so a little while ago too, I hear of. Almost done. Work gets in the way, and I understand that. But that's probably going to be on the voting list for my next major project. We'll look at the other one next week. Thomas has almost started. Love to see that, Thomas. What are you going to build? JB's got a mammoth to get done. Are those chuck castings still available? Darren says. Look, I can send you a set of patterns. I'd be happy to do that, Darren. This is what I have, right? This is what I have, right? That's for something else. You don't want that one. Right. This is 2-part patterns. These are pretty nice patterns, actually. I really like these. Two-part pattern there for that one. 2-part pattern for this one. And a 2-part pattern for this one. And there must be another one somewhere too, I think. There's probably two more castings, I believe. So there's that one too. There's that one. And there's that one. This is not a particularly good design. If I was casting this, I'd modify it. And this is just a piece of bar stock, so you've got something to match the rest. Hey Stuart, congrats on the win. Take care, Aaron. Thanks for the shout out today. Go and check out Aaron's video today. 500 subs, well done. And promise of an engine build. Anyway, Darren, if you're interested, I'll put them in a box and send them to you. We could organise some casting somewhere, but I'd really like to see if mine actually worked before I got in and did that. But I think it's an old design from an old textbook, and I haven't got much information. But that seems to be my thing lately. I seem to get trapped into this whole making stuff without enough information that no one ever really ever made before thing. Yeah, look, Darren, I'm surprised you haven't been committed already, to be honest, if that's what you were talking about. I do all those Euro projects in the back of a magazine. That's exactly right, in the 1920s. And both this and the engine that I've just finished and this pump that I'm almost finished are right in that category. And the engine may never run, so I may never start another project, to be honest. Yeah, that's right. It is like 12 DM in the German magazines, or threepence in the English ones, $1 in the American ones. But the drawings for this are atrocious, right? There's actually 2 pages in a book with a sketch that hasn't got any exploded views or anything to see how it works. I catted it up and I think I know I've got a handle on it, but it might be a bit sketchy. Anyway, there's a set of patterns there. Anyone who wants them, you're welcome to have a go at it. But at this point, it might be next on the list of things to do. It's a pretty cool project. I'd like to get onto it again. Anyway, that's what's happening here. You totally should have a mammoth build off and both make some videos about it. JB and Fridge, you both should do that. I'd be down with that. I'm not expecting the ellipse chuck to be anything like the Chauvelin accessory for the lathe or anything like that. It's just going to be a maybe turn ellipse thing, maybe. It'll probably make elliptical lines on a plate. That's about where we're at with that. First thing is to get the engine running though. What else? What else is cool? What else is happening? Probably not much, to be honest. Not much at all. The mill got cleaned up this weekend and it's now under a pile of bronze scorf, and so is the lathe. I need to get some vacuuming done there. Craig, I don't think it's actually come back to life. You could write him and ask him if you like, but he's kind of busy. It makes all us look fairly. It makes even Stefan look like he's standing still. I think Tom Lipton. No valve yet. I've got some bits. Bob, I've got a mixture valve kit, and I've got a diaphragm on the way, and I've got a block of aluminium. So nearly all the bits are here. Yeah, I don't think he's forgotten. I think it was just a matter of work getting in the way. Darren, because we've all got a Holtz-Apfel book on our bookcase, I don't actually have it, which is sad. But yeah. You want to see the drawings for this lips chuck? Hang on, I'll just find them. Probably. There we go. In this Amateur Mechanic Work Handbook from Castell, published, I think this one's a late model one, is it? Yeah, 1940, 1939, 1943 this edition. First edition 1923. Right. Take care, Richard. Someone did already do that a couple of years ago, Craig. I have to look that out. Right, this is an awesome book. It will make Stefan shudder because he's not that person. It's got all sorts of cool stuff in it. It's got a drill press for the lathe and a circular saw attachment. And it's got a capstan tool holder for the slide breast, which looks like a very useful thing. It's got cutting heads and milling attachments. It's got some cool projects in here too. Look at this. This is a form relieving tool for making it's a relieving attachment for making cutters. Now, that's seriously cool. I'm going to say that's seriously cool. Same pulp magazines, yeah, it's bought at the newsagent for £2 by the look of it. Anyway, got overhead drives, which are excellent. Direct shades of Holtz-Apfel there. That looks like it could be straight out of the Holtz-Apfel book. Dividing attachments. Look, slide rest. Check out these. This will well and truly out of date by 1943. Why did they even reprint this? It got crank handles in it. That's pre-turn of the century. That's like 1880s stuff with crank handles. Box tool. Steady rest. Don't ask about the steady rest. Lots of cool stuff in here anyway. Pattern making. But anyway, that's the drawing I have. Not at all, Darren. I think that's pretty worthy if you do actually make this stuff or use it. Now, this is the attachment, right? And this is the drawings I had. I believe this could be streamlined and improved a little bit. Right? It's got this plate that goes on the front of the headstock with the cam ring on it. And then it's got two shoes which work on the cam ring. What else is there? Is there another picture? No, that's it. it's got two shoes that work on the cam ring, that one there and that one there, right? And these are coupled through the slots to this piece here that slides up and down on the main back plate, which is actually threaded onto the spindle here. So are we following? And this particular back plate's adjusted, but the whole Zaffle one and the one that I'm going to put on my lathe is adjustable side to side, I believe. So still thinking about that. It's got two rods here with leaf springs across the top and the bottom to hold all this together, which I'm not sure about. And adjustment here. And this cam plate moves from side to side on this slotted hole and gives you varying degrees of ellipse as it goes round past the tool. So the chuck doesn't actually, I don't believe, wobble like that to give you an ellipse. It just moves backwards and forwards at different parts of the stroke. You can see that piece there on the top with the spindle on the front, and then it's got two gibs in there, and then the cast iron piece on the back has the spindle on it, and then this arrangement here follows on this washer thing in the back, which actually gives you your offset. So there you go, 1923, wasn't updated. Hey Ted. So clear as mud, that's what I've got. I know how this works now, but it took me a solid week of nutting it out and drawing it up to work out what actually everything did, because there's really not a lot of information there. But another cool project, might happen one day. At some point, it's on the waiting list. All you poor Patreon guys have got to vote on something, and I'm just giving you the information up front. What else is in this book? That looks like a treadle powered, probably a Henry Mills or something like that. It's English lathe. I don't think it's not a Pilter. It could be a Myford, but or a Drummond, but I don't think so. I'm not sure what it is. Hey Malcolm. It's a Milnes R-type. There you go. There's a picture of it. Now, that was out of date by the time this was printed in 1923, let alone 1943. Like, seriously, that machine was out of date at the turn of the century. Live centers. There's some technology in here. A driver for bolts. There's some pretty cool ideas, actually. And nothing's really changed a whole lot. Chucks and angle plates. There's that Taylor's concentric spiral chuck. So that was around even then. It's not a new idea at all. Pretty interesting. Bell chuck or spider chuck, the most useless thing in practice. It really looks like a great idea. Absolutely atrocious if you've got to set anything up parallel and on center with it. Just total nightmare, everything. Could be Tom. He's got different haircut. Really like the dust coat and the shiny shoes, I think, really make that. And the wide trouser pants. Celluloid collar. There's I bet he's wearing a pocket protector. Probably the same one Tom's got. It's quite a lot on split mandrels. Slide rests. These are gold. Pretty awesome. This one would go straight on my lathe, and this one too probably, and this one. That doesn't look rigid at all, even a little bit. I'm suspicious that that wouldn't be much of a thing for part, really. I remember wearing dust coats like that. In fact, if I get my way, we might have them back at work at some point. Dividing head. Already got one of them. Combined dividing and milling attachment, showing milling a flat and end milling a keyway. I'm suspicious that end milling a keyway in this fashion on a lathe would be pretty hard work on that lathe. It's treadle powered, but anyway. I saw someone recently wearing a lab coat. John, g'day. In a video. It's quite a smart look. I think it really is. Might have been Prezzo, was it? Was Prezzo wearing a lab coat? Maybe. Some things have never changed. Hey, Bruce. Hey, Max. Oh, Max Grant was. Yeah, Max Grant was. Max Grant was looking great. Very professional. This is a pot spindle. Now, castings are still available for the pot spindle. I have never, ever, ever, ever seen anyone actually use one in a video. So there you go. There's a little adjustable height grinding spindle. Never seen one used. Someone must make these things and put them away in the workshop in the corner and never ever. See, this is like Max Grant uses. Center grinding attachment. Has a grinding wheel on here, and it has a wheel and a pulley and a beam. So that's, for a tool post grinder, that's sort of how it works. That's the other version of the pots. There you go. Darren, we missed that, but that's it. There you go. I think that's what you're talking about. There you go. But center grinding attachment's awesome. There's the form relieving tool, relieving attachment for the lathe. That's kind of cool. I'm right there with cool factor there. That's awesome. I believe that Hemingway still make a kit for something similar. It might be a better option. There's a whole chapter on driving the lathe. Treadle foot motor, and so on. Then it goes on the wood turning lathe. And there's some actual maths about lathe feed and speeds and using a cut meter, which I've never seen in use. So, very cool book. If you see it around, totally scruff it, because it's well worth a look. There's nothing in there that you will ever make. But anyway, take care, Stefan. Thanks for dropping in. Tommy, torn shirts catch on fire too. Be a bit careful of that. Messing around with workshop stuff. Be careful of that. Just from experience there. It won't do you any good. Anyway, that's what's happening, and what's not happening, and what may never ever happen. But some pretty cool stuff happening in the workshop at the moment. I want to get this pump finished and get this valve done for the engine so we can try starting it again. Check out my Thingiverse. I'm free to download 3D print file handle. These are about 10 years, 3 years, 5 years or something old. They're still a pretty good file handle. I think I'd make some in like flexible filament next time. And print them pretty quick so they're hard, and I think they'd be really good. Anyway, what else? Not much. That's about it. I'm going to go and have a toasted sandwich maybe for dinner. I want to watch Marty's Matchbox Makeovers, because Marty's Matchbox Makeovers is a pretty awesome channel, and it's an Australian channel from Melbourne. You should go and check that out if you haven't. I want to watch Chirpy's video too, which is hit today, which I haven't seen yet. And I want to watch JB's video. So they're the 3 videos I want to watch before bed. No, he makes them over. He restores them. Pretty cool. There's a link for you. Anyway, so one of the bizarre things that Emma watches. What else? No, nothing else. Should have this pump on test by next week, I hope. And with that, I'm going to say be kind to each other. You American guys, don't let the election get you down, because nothing you can do about it anyway. Just let it wash over, and they're all as bad as each other. John might post some pictures of the wombat if you're lucky. And yeah, just vote and take care. I'm out, and we'll see you next week, and there might be a video before then, I hope. Good night.